Hello, this is a video. I'm gonna quickly do a options risk management that I believe that it's not really covered in the options world, and I think it would be helpful to people that are just kind of starting out, including myself. This is a rule set that I also remind myself every day, especially when taking position size. So this calculator basically calculates your risk when you're buying contracts, and it also monitors your overall account size and makes sure you're not breaking the rule set, which I have sort of made here. And this rule set is keeping your position size respectable, and making sure that if your stop loss is hit, which is a 20% stop loss, if it's hit, then you're only risking around 2% of your total account, and the limit is 2%, which I feel is kind of fair. So yeah, I mean, I see a lot of traders online, options traders, they make good money, but no one really talks about their account size, which I think is very, very important, especially for anyone starting out. Because if you're trading with like $80,000 or $50,000, then your position size, how much you're willing to risk, is going to be a lot more and a lot easier to make money. Which is something that I see a lot. So for me, my account size currently is around $5,000. And let's say, well, at the minute price per contract, or let's say the average contract cost, well, let's say $200. I think that's fair. So you got $200 contract, and so with a $5,000 account, let's say if I buy two contracts at $200, stop loss is at 20%. So you can see here, it automatically changes it, this calculator. So my position size is $400. I'm risking $80, which is 20% of that. And my account risk is around 1.60%, which is very, very manageable. And I think that a lot of people forget to, especially when you're starting out, really manage your position size and your risk, because that is something that can really start to drain your account if you're not checking it. I mean, let's be honest, a lot of people in options trading, they start out with a $1,000 account. I think, that's, a newcomer would, even I started with a $1,000 account. And, they'll see a contract, maybe the contracts are a little bit cheaper. Maybe they're about, I don't know, $1.20 per contract. So you see that and mentally like, oh, I can afford that. So yeah, I can afford I have a $1,000 account. I can buy like maybe 3 or 4 of them. So you buy 3 or 4 contracts at $120, and then your risk, let's say if you're keeping to your risk at 20%, if your stop is hit, that's like nearly $96. Your position size is 480. But this is when the numbers really show is that, if this stop loss is hit, you're risking nearly 10% of your total account. And I think that risking 10% of your total account, you can imagine after a couple of trades, you're going to blow that account. And it's just something that I think a lot of traders cover, risk management. And I'm no professional trader yet. I'm still trying out my options trading journey. But this is something that I'm trying to stick by, and especially if, I don't have a big account. And I think it's very useful, just looking at your position size and making sure that you're handling your risk well. And if you, say if you have like a $25,000 account and you take the same setup, 4 contracts, 120 each, you're risking maybe just, let's scale up a little bit. So let's say you take 7 contracts, 120 each. Your position size is now $840. You're risking about $160. So your total account risk is 0.67, which is barely nothing. And you can sort of handle that risk mentally because you're overall account size is bigger. And I would think in the options world, traders that have YouTube channels, etc., I think they are trading, maybe they have a $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 account. And I would say the average size, what they're trading, is anywhere between 10 to 15 contracts. So if we push this up to 15, we can see here, I think that's an average position value from what I've seen anyway, some options traders. $2,000 or a $3,000 position size. But here we got $1,800 position size. You're risking about 20%, so you're risking $360. And once again, your account risk is only 1.44%. So it just really helps. And for me, actually, kind of taught me that, without not sizing up my options contracts on a small account is something that I've done in the past and that you need to be careful of. So my goal is to kind of refine my strategy when it comes to options trading. At the same time, just try and scale up my account size. Because as long as I'm, managing my risk well and improving my trading, then the way that you see, say if you have $50,000, it's like if you're training yourself and you're using your same strategy and you're getting better and better and better, you can take these same setups. You can take less contracts with a bigger account. You're risking $250 and you're risking only 0.48% of your account. And then you can sort of just keep improving, without blowing your account. So I think that process itself, having your strategy, having your position size and your risk all aligned is definitely the way forward. And one of the things I saw as well, it's very, very hard to trade options with $1,000 account because you're only probably able to, to take one contract, and having a contract that costs $1.20, you can find them. Maybe some of the, the big tech stocks or options contracts are more expensive than that. But you can find them. But I would say that you cannot make money with a small account size. What you can do is accept that you're going to lose. Even if you lose $24, this for my risk threshold anyway. This is already more than 2% risk if I even lose $24 on $120 account size. So I would say that if you're going to put in $10,000 into your options trading account or less than that, still continue to take small sizes and just refine your strategy and make sure you're using a risk calculator, because they're very, very helpful and they've helped me. I mean, obviously some people can do this in their head, when they're in trades, but this is also, I've been using this to sort of back test too. Look at what options contracts there are and giving myself scenarios. If I'd have bought this amount, how much would I be risking, etc. But yeah, I just thought to make this little risk calculation video. I mean, this is for myself too, just to remind myself. And I'm a new options trader, so this just helps me sort of manage my risk. So I hope you enjoyed.